Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today we're going to design and print with a 3D printer a standby charging clock for your nightstand. And this is basically a standby dock for an iPhone. And we're going to need a couple tools for this. We're going to need some calipers to measure our iPhone. We're going to need some measurements of the actual dock, the magnetic dock that goes inside here, and we're going to need a curve measurement for the curve on the iPhone. And we're going to design this in Fusion 360 and print it on a Bamboo X1 carbon 3D printer. Let's get started.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break his back for $1 or $2. Oh, there ain't no shame in what he do. Oh, work it out.
The first thing we're going to do is download this little tool right here. Now, on the iPhones, the corners have curves in them. And in order to find the exact curve number, so that when we design the phone to be able to lay into that little clock dock, we need to make sure we have the right curve. And I'm not sure which one it is. It's either 11 or 12 curve, but we're going to download this tool. We're going to print it out right now. And yeah, let's send this over to the printer and print it. Okay, we've got our tools ready to go. We got our little curve tool. We've got our digital calipers. We've got our some measurements. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to go up right away. We're going to start a drawing. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this really easy. We're going to start actually. So you got your XYZ plane right here, your 3D plane. Now, I'm going to start from the side right here, and I'm going to show you a really fast and easy way to make this. So we'll start from the center. We know that we want to have a 4-inch base right there. There's our first line. And what we want to do, we want to come up 1 inch. Oops. Nope. You always want to make sure you snap on your... So we want to come up 1, hit enter. And we're going to start from there. Now this one, we've kind of got a little odd degree angle. So you've got 2 different measurements there. We're going to come out 1, we're going to hit tab, and then we're going to hit 22 degrees and hit enter. And then it'll move it exactly where we want. Next, now here's where the calipers come in handy. So this is going to be the face of the phone. So checking with my calipers, the width of the phone is 2 7/8, but I need to add a 1/2 inch. So that's going to put me at 3.375. And then I'm going to hit enter. And there's the face of our phone dock. And that gives it enough lean that it'll stay in clock mode on standby when you're in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that node right there. We're going to come down to our first starting point. And then we're going to come up right up here till it clicks. And we're going to hit there, and we're going to close it right there. And there's basically the side of our little phone dock. Now I'll show you how easy this is. So we're just going to highlight that. We're going to go up to solid. We're going to go to extrude, and then we're going to go over here to distance. Now here's where we need our calipers again. So we know that our phone is 5 7/8, but again we're going to add a 1/2 inch. So we're going to be 6.375 and hit enter. Now, if you look at it, there's the face of your 3-dimensional phone dock. Now the next thing we need to do is draw another line. So we're going to go up here to create sketch. We're going to make sure that we're on this plane right here. We're going to go to modify, down to offset. We're going to highlight this outside of this box. We're going to go over to our distance, and we're going to put negative 0.25. Enter. Now we have the inside of our box. So the inside of this is actually the exact dimension of our phone. And we've added a 1/4 inch border around it. Now we want to recess this, and we want to recess it 3/8 of an inch. That's the thickness we want to go. So we're going to go up here to solid, extrude, and on your distance, we're going to put negative 0.375, which is 3/8 of an inch, and hit OK. And there you go. We basically, we're getting right to where we want to be. Okay, next thing we need to do, we need a hole, a recess for we need a recess for our magnetic charger. So we're going to go back up to draw. We're going to move this where we want it. We're going to spin it a little bit because I want this to be the section that we draw on. So we want to create a circle, and we need to find the center of this. Okay, once you got the hole in the center, so you can see that's right in the center, now you can recess this down the distance that you need. And we need to recess it 0.2. So we'll go up here, we're extruding it, negative 0.2, enter, and there you go. Now what we need is we need a notch over here on this side of it right here. So we're going to go ahead and go to sketch again, and we need to be on this same plane. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to put a little notch right there. Now if we were to highlight that, you would see. Now what we do is, so we highlight that, we're going to go back up to solid, we're going to do the same thing, we're going to do a negative 0.2, and we're going to cut that out. So now if you go ahead and look at it, you got a perfect little notch right there. And then I'll show you what we'll do with that later to get our cord to go all the way through. Okay, the next thing we need to do, we're actually doing really good. We only have a few things to do here. Okay, next thing we need to do is we need a notch right here for the camera lens. And we know that it's an 1/8 inch away. So let's go ahead and we'll create a fictitious line here. We're going to be there, but I need to move it so I can see that line. And so we're going to put that right there. And we're going to go 0.125. We want to make sure that we're in the 90 degrees. Sure doesn't snap in here very good. Let's do this. Let's go up the same plane. 0.125. Enter. Well, that didn't work. Let's undo that. Let's go back over here. Draw a line. We want to be an 1/8 inch away from this corner. So let's go up 0.125. It should be really small right there. There you go. And then what we want to do is go ahead and repeat the line. We're going to come out 0.125 on that line. 0.125. Enter. Okay, there's the square. That's where we need to start our rectangle. Now if we go up to rectangle and then we start right there, we can basically just go ahead and type in, we need to be 1.25 inches. So 1.25, hit the tab button, it'll switch you over to the other dimension, and then 1.25, enter. And there's our square, and we're exactly 1/8 inch off of these corners and the side rails of our thing. So this is exactly where our camera needs to be. Now the camera thickness, let's check that with our calipers. If we're 1/8 inch, we'll be plenty. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this. We're going to go back up to solids, hit the extrude button, and distance we're going to be negative, negative 0.125, enter. So there's our recess for our camera. Now we're almost done with this. Now we just got to go and clean up this whole thing as far as we're going to put curves in it and stuff like that. So the inside curves for this phone, let's go ahead and start there. So we're going to highlight this little curve right here. Let's check our curve dimension. And it looks like our curve is a number 12. So because I'm working in inches, let's go ahead and convert centimeters to inches. And let's see, centimeters, or millimeters, I'm sorry, millimeters to inches. And we need to know what 12 is. Okay, so 12 is 0.4724. That's number 12. Now let's go ahead and figure out the little camera curve real quick, because I know that it's number 8. So we'll go ahead, type in number 8, and that is 0.3149. Okay, so now we have both of our curves. Now we'll go ahead and start on this inside one for the phone right here. Now you can go and highlight all of them if you can find them all, but I usually have to curve them around a little bit. So we'll go up here to fillet, and we've got our fillet selected. It's just going to be a round fillet, and we know that our phone is 0.4724. So you can see it just curved that right there. Now that's the actual curve of our phone. So now what we want to do, we'll hit OK. We're going to move it around a little bit, and we're going to go do each one of these. So we'll repeat fillet, and we'll repeat the dimension right there, 0.4724, and hit OK. There's our second curve, and you just go around and okay, and we just repeat the process. Let's zoom in here. So we're going to highlight this inside corner, go up to fillet, type in our same measurement, 0.4724, hit enter right there. Go up here, got one more right there, repeat fillet, 0.4724. Okay. All right, there's all your phone curves right there. So you can see that's looking good. That's exactly what we want. Now let's go ahead and curve our inside of our camera, and that is a 0.3. So let's repeat fillet, and we're going to go ahead and hit 0.3149, and we'll say OK. And you can see the curve of that camera one. Now we'll go ahead and I gotta turn this, do each one of these. Repeat fillet, 0.3149, hit OK. Go back to this other one down here. Repeat fillet, 0.3149. Hit OK. And we've got one more down here. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and get this fillet in there. And hopefully it won't interfere with the camera one. 0.4724. 4724, hit OK. Okay, there we go. Now we've got a perfect, you can see the camera's perfectly where it needs to be. It's recessed. You got your little puck for charging. Now we need one more thing here. So if you look, let's spin this thing around. So you can see the charging dock right here, the little notch. I need to put a hole through there. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go up here to create hole, and that's about the size hole I want, but I want it in the center of that spot. So let's go ahead and move this right put it over a little bit right there. And that's the right size. So we're going to go ahead, because 0.30 is a little bigger than a 1/4 inch. The cord should fit right through there. Let's go ahead and hit OK. Now, you notice it's got a taper in there, so we actually did that wrong. So let's go ahead and edit feature. We'll go back over here. So the width of our cut, 0.30, is fine. We don't need this taper, but we'll just leave it there for now. But we're going to cut all the way through. So how I'm going to do that? Well, I'm going to highlight this simple one right here. And then we're going to cut this through, and I'm just going to type 5 inches. We know the width of this thing is 4, but let's just go ahead and type 5. And it should make a hole all the way through the back of this. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And then we'll take a look. You can see the hole goes right through there. Actually, let me zoom out. Yeah, you can see the hole goes right through there, and it goes right out the back, and that's exactly what we want. Now you could put the hole lower, but I'm actually fine with it going right out there. Now there's a few more things we want to do here. We want to go around and curve. We want to dress up the outside of this thing, and we're going to match a few curves around the phone, and we're basically going to go around the whole thing and do some big smooth curves. And we're almost done. Okay, let's finish this up. We're going to curve this line right here, this line down here. We're going to curve those the same as the phone itself, so 0.4724. Hit OK. Now we're going to do the outside. These other little lines we're going to do an 1/8 inch. So we're going to go ahead, go up here to fillet, and over here we'll put 0.125, enter. So we've smoothed out these edges here. Now we want to do the outside of this phone right here, so we'll highlight that, repeat fillet, and just do 0.125 on the whole face. So that face is good. Now let's see. Yeah, we want to do this corner right here. And this corner right here, we'll hold the shift key down and get that one. Repeat fillet. And we'll hit 0.125, enter. Now that should be the whole thing. So let's just take a quick look. And that's our phone case right there. It's got the docking station, the recess for the camera. So this will be a great standby phone dock. Okay, now I'm going to save it, and let's hit save. Go ahead and hit OK. Now we're going to go ahead and export this. We'll go ahead and export it over to the Bambu X1 Carbon in a STL file, and I'll see you over at the printer. Let's get started. Okay, here you can see we've imported it into Bambu Studio. And I'm going to rotate it around here so you can see it's got some nice lines to it, pretty clean. Now let's slice this and see how long it takes to do. We don't need to really, we're going to just do it all in black. So we got the Bambu X1 Carbon, temperature plate. We're just going to slice it and just see what happens with it, just like that. Now it didn't even ask for any supports, which is interesting. So this says 5 hours and 22 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at this. So it's got some blue highlighted spots there. And it's got one spot up here. Now let's go back to prepare. And we're going to go over here to support. And we're going to enable supports and see what happens. I'm going to put the tree one on there because I kind of like that one. And let's reslice it. So you can see it generates supports on the bottom there and up at the top. And I'm going to leave those in because I don't, you know, if you're doing something for this long, you don't want anything to happen. Okay, let's go ahead and send this over to the printer, and we'll do a time lapse so you can see it being created. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, here you can see the X1 Carbon, and it took about 8 hours actually to print this, and it didn't have any trouble except for the supports. I think if I was doing this again, I'm going to try to use those dissolving supports because they leave some marks on a few spots that I had to kind of clean up. But all in all, it came out really nice, and here's the final product. After printing, it turned out really well. This picture doesn't really do it justice. My phone has a couple cracks around the edges, but it really looks cool using it as a standby alarm clock. You know, you can set an alarm, you can set a timer, you can do different things with it, and it really turned out good. I'm really happy with it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I will see you next time. Later.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break his back for $1 or $2. Oh, there ain't no shame in what he do. Oh, work it out.